fight like crazy, go for each ball, run more, fight more, jump higher. That's what we have to do.
From Basel to Madrid, back to Anfield and everywhere in between, it's hard to believe it's now over 5 years since the mad, brilliant Jurgen Klopp took over as manager of Liverpool Football Club and single-handedly turned us all from doubters to believers. We've laughed, we've cried, we've had incredible let-offs and disastrous heartbreaks. It's safe to say it's been one hell of a ride, but at the end of a long year for everyone, let's not forget that 2020 brought with it a whole new chapter of unforgettable Klopp moments. And here at the Redmen TV, we thought this Christmas would be a good time to sit down, look back and reminisce at just all of the brilliant Jurgen moments that we've seen unfold since the day that changed everything in October 2015. So sit back, have a glass of mulled wine and a mince pie, and join us as we look back at the 50 biggest moments of the Jurgen Klopp era, as voted by you, the Redmen TV fans. A huge win for our fan base is your pick at number 41. The Reds may have drawn 2-2 with Sunderland on the pitch, but it was the actions of those in the stands that drew attention in January 2016.
Possibly one that you could argue should be higher, probably because it's not so much a cheerful moment as a goal or winning a trophy or, you know, beating your rivals is, but in the context of things and where right now there's loads of things that fans are fighting for. You know, you look at the pay-per-view contract, you know, it's just another moment in history where fans have stood up and have influenced the decision, and it just brings home that, you know, that fan power still exists.
FSG have released a statement on the ticketing price structure, and they have amended it after the demonstration at the game against Sunderland. It was clear to them that they'd made some mistakes, and most importantly, they are willing to admit it and have completely changed the ticketing price structure. That was a stand by the fans, wasn't it? And we needed to do that because we've got owners who aren't from this city, who maybe don't understand the football club and what we perceive the football club to be as well as we do. It's basically us going, no, you might own the football club, but we are the football club. And that change in heart of their decision and going back on itself has led to that happening a couple of times over the last few years when Liverpool have made a mistake and they've not been in touch with the fan base, and it's great that we won't let them get away with that. No matter how good they are performing on the pitch, it's still our football club first and foremost.
I think it set the tone. I think it woke the owners up at the time. I mean, you know, there've definitely been some missteps along the way from the owners, but to be fair to them, pretty much every time they've listened to the fans and they've tried to come up with an alternative solution.
Well, the fans, they walked out on 77 minutes. It had a tangible impact negatively on what was happening on the pitch, and it showcased how important fans were. It was like saying, yeah, look, this is what will happen if we can't afford to come in the game. This is what's going to happen to your football team on the pitch. And it was the loudest quiet protest I think Liverpool possibly could have put out.
I think it showed FSG, look, when we mean something, we mean something.
There's been other examples on a bigger scale in football, you know, most recently the pay-per-view sort of uproar about, you know, people fighting back and fans having a voice and making a difference. And obviously within Liverpool, that was a really good example of the fans and the strong voice that we have and the connection that we have with our club.
It's safe to say that one of the most prominent songs that has followed Klopp's success has been Allez, 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 which has been the soundtrack to some incredible European nights at Anfield. It all started on a very rainy Valentine's trip to Porto.
Yeah, Porto was horrible. It was just the wettest place on earth. Hoods up and trying not to get soaked to the bone, and there was a bunch of Liverpool fans under like these giant umbrellas outside a booze, and as we approached you could hear the songs, and there was a new Salah song and whatever, and as we were walking away to go and get the train, these lads go past us just singing this song, is really catchy tune, Allez, 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 and we're like walking along and singing bits and pieces and trying to pick it up as we go.
You go into the train station and then there's there's 100 people singing the song, and then you get onto the train and we're on the same carriage as them, and there's all the carriage, 200 people singing the song, and it's like sardines in a tin.
The train is bouncing and it's picking up. It's not quite as we now know it, but that was it. That was like the genius that where it started for what became an absolute anthem for 2 seasons and more for Liverpool.
To be there at the inception point and then to see what LA has done.
With us on our journey, shall we say. I mean, for me, the first time it really hit for me was the Man City game at home in the Champions League, where obviously you go 3-0 up really quickly, and that was just bouncing on all 4 stands.
It's almost like a call to action or a rally call for for fans. Everyone can get behind it. The fact that you can bounce, you can wave your scarf in the air. Everyone can kind of get involved. It's it encapsulates most fans, in my opinion. Therefore, brings it a better atmosphere.
Champions of the world. That was the chant being sung on the Kop after Liverpool's trip to Qatar in December 2019. It was all thanks to this huge Roberto Firmino goal that will go down in club history in your pick at number 28.
Champions of the world. I didn't think I'd ever see it.
Should be higher. I'm not sure whether that because I was there it meant more to me. I thought it was more special. But the fact the chance in a once in a lifetime chance for you to see your club become champions of the world doesn't happen very often.
So many Liverpool fans travelled over there, not as many as Flamengo's fans, to be fair, but a load of people went over there to support the team.
Obviously, we'd sacrificed the League Cup to go to Qatar, so there came with it so much pressure to go and get it won then.
We went there with a dishevelled squad. We had to play Henderson at centre-half.
Managed to get through against Monterrey. You get to the final and you're hoping you're just going to go and wipe the floor with them, and we didn't. And Flamengo gave us a good game.
Firmino, yeah!
With our own little Brazilian in there going up against Flamengo, knowing what that means to him as a Brazilian national, going up against one of the biggest sides in Brazil in a competition that Brazilians think is massively important as well. Brilliant.
I thought he'd missed a chance because he brings it back and turns inside. When he wins Liverpool, yet another trophy.
Them celebrations were fantastic.
What a wonderful moment. A proper, not like European Cup history, but it is a moment that will go down in the history of Liverpool Football Club, and Bobby Firmino is the man right at the heart of it.
Bobby Firmino's legacy forever at Liverpool is getting us that. We needed that. We needed that win. It's something that Liverpool had never won before.
Before it, we were all a bit nonplussed by the Club World Cup. But after you're able to turn around and say, no, we're the champions of the world, no one can say anything to you. And I think that this competition becomes more important from here on in for Liverpool fans because we've won it now.
Champions League final time again for number 24. A fantastic moment as Klopp is held aloft by the players in front of a jubilant away end inside the Metropolitano.
Yeah, Jurgen Klopp is a very humble man, which is mad for someone who's just such an effusive character. But he hates having his song, so it's not about him. He hates being the centre of attention. He knows the attention should go on his players. But what was lovely about it was that the players were like, no. Right, no, we've had all ours. We've got all our songs. We've taken all our adulation. It's your time now, Jurgen. It's getting launched in the air and he's going for it. Proper Jurgen party moment. And that was it. It was just so joyous to see him having a great time, the players having a great time.
You can see what he meant to each and every one of those players and what he's done for their careers, because they'd have been dreaming about this for their entire life. You can see it in Hendo when he's lifting the cup. How much it means to him and how much it means to every player and coach, and Klopp's the one that's made that possible, and this is their little way of saying thank you to him.
The fact that the man who's led all this, the fact the man who's brought the fans and the players, it's together, who's getting us results, who's winning us trophies, gets the credit that he deserves, that was a special moment.
what was the nicest thing about that was that, you know, because he's a modest man, Jurgen Klopp, and I genuinely think that it makes him cringe a little bit on the inside, all that stuff. But he gets up from being thrown around, he gets back on the floor, he immediately goes back to the players and he's telling the fans, let's do it, yeah, these are the guys, and then he turns around with the players and he's lifting his arm up to the fans, and because that is what it's about for him. It's not about himself, it's about the guys who make it happen for him and then us in the stands as well. And I think that is the important thing about Jurgen Klopp. He's a modest man, and even though he really did deserve that attention that night, the immediacy of him to turn it around on the players and back onto the fans, I think sums him up perfectly.
Few men quite as deserving of being chucked in the air and being caught as Jurgen Klopp.
It's mad that scoring in a Champions League final isn't even Divock Origi's most iconic moment in a Liverpool shirt, but here we are. We were under pressure in Madrid, but there was big Divock to bury a second and hand us a 6th European Cup. Cue absolute carnage in our end.
Divock Origi's gave us some absolutely fantastic moments, hasn't he? But that's got to be up there at the top, because he scored a goal in the Champions League final to finish it. That was it. We'd won it then.
When Salah gets and scores the pen, I nearly faint because my body can't process that Liverpool could possibly be ahead so early into a game. And in the game, let's be honest, it was a slog. It was a slog of a football match.
It had been quite tense, you know. There was a period of 20 minutes there, 25 minutes, where Tottenham really looked like they might have scored. And you know, if you go into extra time in that game, and Tottenham are hanging on in there, good side, well organised side. They've got players like Harry Kane on the pitch. The last thing you want is to having to, you know, to continue at 1-1. Maybe they even take it to penalties. You know, you don't want it to get that far. The celebrations in that end were mad.
Seals your happiness, it seals the victory, it seals the fact that you can then, you know, even with 10 minutes to go, you can get a little bit complacent and think, you know, this is done, and that's when the party started.
What Divock Origi's goal did was it released all that pressure, and it allowed our end, while the game was still going on, to really relax. And you know then that you're winning the European Cup, and you can have a party in that end. You've got all the trophy lift to come and all the celebrations, but I would love just a single shot of just continuous 10 minutes, just to watch our end for that 10 minutes while the game's still going on, because it's absolute bedlam and it's glorious.
Finally, we were champions of Europe again. It's been far, far too long.
As much as I would have loved to have been over there, again, Liverpool was the place to be that night. It was unreal. All I did from that goal going in is dance, drink, jump up and down, little bit of work, and then back out and danced and drank, and it was a release of emotion, and we got to replicate that so many times in the next few years.
It was just amazing. He was deified as an absolute cult hero that season, and that was just the icing on top of the cake, really. Incredible. It just exploded out of the Kop. We're going to win the league because, yeah, we just done Man United. And that wonderful goal, Alisson knee slide, Salah celebration, and then that beautiful, beautiful song. And that was the moment when even the biggest doubters amongst us had to admit that, yeah, we were probably going to do it this time.